So in summary, there are several techniques that are available to us to use when we have to deal with or regain extensibility in myofascial structures that have lost extensibility or have become shortened. We can use sustained stretch to deal with connective tissue components in these muscles, particularly if there are load-bearing fascias involved. And the best way to do that is with limb load and gravity. Sustained stretch for around about 2 to 3 minutes and 2 to 3 repetitions or sets of them. When we have an atrophied muscle that has also lost extensibility, so it's wasting due to post-immobilisation stiffness and it's lost length, then a contract-relax type technique using the process of autogenic inhibition to make the muscle contract first for about 7 to 10 seconds. Then when it relaxes, we then passively take it into new range and try and maintain that range. When we have an upregulated, over-recruiting multi-joint muscle that's lost extensibility, or it's hypertrophied and short, as we often see in chronic and recurrent musculoskeletal pain conditions, the technique of choice is to use reciprocal inhibition to make an antagonist to that muscle contract for around about 20 to 30 seconds. So we put the muscle on stretch, take it to its end point, support it there, then make an antagonist contract for 20 to 30 seconds. There are two different sorts of antagonists we can contract. So for example, for the hamstrings, we could contract rectus femoris to get reciprocal inhibition, or we could contract the muscles of anterior tilt of the pelvis, the iliacus and the back extensors, to provide anterior tilt to reciprocally inhibit the posterior tilt component of the hamstrings. I believe in many situations of chronic and recurrent musculoskeletal pain, it's preferable, where possible, to use stabiliser muscles in the trunk to provide reciprocal inhibition to these mobiliser muscles in the leg, rather than just to use another mobiliser muscle in the leg to provide reciprocal inhibition to the hamstrings, for example. So the technique of choice for upregulated or hypertrophied or overactive short muscles related to chronic and recurrent musculoskeletal pain would be a process of autogenic inhibition or antagonist contract-relax. And what we can also use for any of these situations where there's contractile tissue upregulation and overactivity is manual stimulation of the myofascial trigger point, maintaining that stimulation for around about 30 seconds to a minute of constant pressure, creating a sensory mechanical response to change how the muscle, its neurophysiology, so that we downregulate an overactive muscle and then can regain more length. So there are 4 techniques: sustained stretch, autogenic inhibition, reciprocal inhibition, and 2 options there: use a limb mobiliser or a trunk stabiliser are our options to do reciprocal inhibition, and then also myofascial trigger point stimulation.